Welcome to Humanizing Healthcare, where we talk with innovators and thought leaders who are working to make healthcare experiences more compassionate and rewarding for all. Our host is Chris Malone, founder of Fidelum Health and author of the award-winning book, The Human Brand: How We Relate to People, Products, and Companies.
Hello and welcome to Humanizing Healthcare Live. I'm Chris Malone and I'll be your host for today's discussion. We're coming to you today from the Patient Experience Congress in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm pleased to welcome Vishal Bhalla, founder and CEO of AnalytAIX. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
So to get us started, I'm wondering if there is a story or experience you can share as to how you came to have a career in healthcare. Anything you can tell us about?
Absolutely. So my background actually is from hospitality and casinos. I've had the blessing of having lived and worked in 4 continents and 7 countries. For the last 2 years of his life, my dad was in the hospital. And I was lucky enough to get a job 20 days on, 10 off, and I spent 10 days a month as a caregiver. My wife took care of him for 20 days and mom. I spent 10 days a month in the hospital with him. My background is also, I'm a master black belt in Lean Six Sigma, and I'm an ops guy. I was managing 13,000 rooms at the time. When I saw a few things that happened, even though every individual working in healthcare is so dedicated to serving that patient, yet the system failed them. As Deming says, a bad system beats a good person every time. So I was so moved, I pushed my way up the chain of command to see how could something like this happen. And the response I got was, oh, we're lack of resources. I'm sure we feel that today. And my respectful but firm answer was, figuratively, you have water running down the drain on this side of the wall and people dying thirsty on the other. And so after he passed, I decided to serve in healthcare. Actually, I was whining a bit. I was in a tailspin, and my wife, who was also my best friend, said, hey, do something about it or zip it. And so here we are.
Well, thank goodness that's the case. Thank you for the impact that you're having.
Thank
So
you.
tell us about AnalytAIX and what kind of work you do and how you are making a difference now in healthcare.
Thank you, Chris. So having been Chief Experience Officer first at a safety net health system, Parkland, with the busiest emergency room in the United States, where we went from the 9th percentile in employee experience to the 54th to the 75th, and then patient experience to the 90th percentile for 16 quarters in a row. So thank you to the Parkland team. They're amazing people. But I experienced some opportunities and then moved to a different health system called Atrium, similar opportunities. And then moved to Advocate Health as we grew. So I was CXO for a team with about 165,000 employees, and we took care of about 7 to 9 million patients a year. Similar opportunities. What are those opportunities I found? And so I'll come to that in a moment, but I left, went back to MIT to do artificial intelligence and machine learning to help kind of synthesize and solve some of those BHAGs, right? Big problems. I won't go into the rest of that, but that's what we do at AnalytAIX. 2 primary issues. Number one, like we said, everyone who serves is really dedicated to the patient, but the information they need, the intelligence they need is across different silos. And the patient so we operate like in slices of bread, and we are kings, and we know the subject matter expertise. We are deep experts in our slice of bread. But it's a loaf. And the patient, imagine a baby capsule, and 2 patients are sitting in it, are trying to navigate through the holes in the loaves of bread. And when we innovate, we think we're making things better, we move it. And so now it gets stuck, the little capsule. And so employees, because they're driven, they try to pull this capsule out. Their arms are getting cut, there's burnout, there's all kinds of stuff. So what we do, number one, is solve the problem of disparate data instantly. Because you have disparate data, you can probably get it, but it'll be delayed. Delay costs a lot, not only money, but also life. And so we are able to now We have a backbone that can ingest any information from your past, from different sources, including cameras now, live. And it goes into a machine learning layer. We embed your business logic, your language, the acronyms, and so on into that machine learning layer. And then we have a large language model, which then does the care of your language, your literacy level, your culture, and incorporates that. So you're able to get any information which is solid. It's not hallucinating per se, because machine learning based, and the large language model, which is not allowed to think, but then interprets what's been asked and what the machine learning has delivered and delivers it to you in your language.
That's a very interesting illustration. I've not heard it explained that way, this idea of kind of cutting through the slices and connecting the loaf back together, despite that we have deep expertise in each slice. Can you give us some examples of places that you are doing this and what is coming from this?
Yeah, so we know, let's talk about connecting employee experience to patient experience to safety outcome that looks like Macarena to financial outcomes, okay? So we know that intuitively, and there are white papers and there are studies, and we know it makes sense, right? That employee engagement, of course, connects to patient experience. We know that. And patient experience connects to safety outcomes. We know that, because happy patients are, heal faster. We know that, right? And better patient outcomes is better financial. We know that. But do we know that? So the CFO, the CEO, the COO, or me as a unit leader, that's where the rubber meets the road, the first level of leadership. Me as a unit leader need to understand, what is this connection looking like for my unit? Me as a GM or CEO of a health system, me as a COO, me as a CNO, needs to understand, me as a head of marketing needs to understand, what is this story from my perspective? But across all these points, a pair, right? We get rejections from different pairs at different times. Why? Like, how do we connect all that and find, from our perspective, what's in our vertical, what's in our slice that we can influence, that if we tug this, it aligns the slices of bread. What is the one thing, because we have 6,000 things to work on every day in healthcare, what is the one or two things I can focus on, really focus on? Because if you do 60 things, you're doing nothing, but you're pulled in so many directions today. So we help you prioritize across these data sets. So that's one problem we solve. The second problem is, and instantly, by the way, and low cost in the language. So if I'm a housekeeping supervisor, and I come from Delhi, okay? Let's say I only speak Punjabi, right? And I'm a housekeeping supervisor. I don't need to speak English necessarily. Well, I do, but not necessarily, or Arabic, or I need to communicate. But I don't need to have a high literacy level. I don't need to know regression analysis to understand what I need to focus on. Just give me the damn thing and I'll go work. So if you can talk to it in your language and get the information that makes sense, because you're driven. So I say that everyone who works in healthcare is this beautiful bird, and they want that cake. What do? We put a glass cover over it. So the bird will whack its beak and bleed, and some will die, some will fly away, very few, but they leave healthcare. You've seen how many people are quitting. And some will go around the system and get the cake, but they went around the system, Chris, so we grabbed their knuckles and bad dog, right? So we have to #break the glass, and that's what we do. The other now, coming to the other thing, sorry, it's a little long-winded, but I'm a little, worked up and
if only you were
excited
passionate on
about
the
it.
subject.
Yeah. The other thing is the imbalance. We call social inequities, we call blah, 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 whatever term you want to name it, but there's an imbalance, a power imbalance between the patient and the physician. And it could be due to language, it could be due to dignity, embarrassment, for lack of knowledge. Now, my literacy level in heart conditions is close to 0. So if my daughter is sitting there and I'm talking to you, the physician, you explain something to me, I don't get it. But guess what? I'm going to pretend I do. Like, and then I'm going to get a heart attack and get readmitted, right? And so how do we prevent that? So that's one issue. The other is, I may be of a different language, and you may be a different language, right? Let's flip the case. I'm the doctor, and you're from south of Saudi Arabia. Big issues, right? And I'm trying to explain to you. You may or may not get it. Uh, you have a glastoma. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I just made that up. I don't know if it's blastoma or glastoma. But anyways, moving right along. What if you can talk in your language to an agent, secure communication based on your medical record, based on what the doctor has prescribed, and it can answer your questions 24/7, 20 times, 30 times. That's what we do. So we have video agents. Again, we don't build the technology, Chris. We put the right tools, the right job to solve the problem with an ROI. I'll come to AI with ROI in a minute, but we have video agents that you can talk to in your language, your literacy level, to get the right message, right communication, the right content, in the right cultural nuance at the right time.
Well, there are a number of things you mentioned there that are very interesting, of course. One is the speeding up of the connection of data so that we can make an impact. But I think that last piece that you mentioned as well is personalization.
Yes.
This idea that we can speak to people in their own language, in their own, comfort zone and so forth. That really fosters more than just data exchange. It fosters connection and trust and engagement.
Yes,
Which
sure.
At the end of the day, that's what needs to happen in addition to any medicine or clinical treatment that occurs. So it sounds like it's really making an impact.
Yes. So access, you can talk, and based on your medical record and what the physicians or that health system decides, you're having a conversation. You may know whether you need to go to the emergency room today, or you can wait to see your physician 4 days from now, or call the ambulance, buddy, right? Or it can even help call the ambulance for you. So that's one, access. Engagement. If, we tested this with my mother as an example. Sorry, Mom, but your medical history is going to be public. But anyway, so she has a condition, and I told her, talk to this agent in Punjabi. So she gives the whole story, right? I woke up, it takes 40 minutes to express, because sometimes the diamonds are in the excess of the knowledge, and the physician doesn't have the time. Physician's like, come on, and because they want to quickly diagnose, solve the problem, and move to the next patient, right? So if she can take 35 to 40 minutes to give her whole story, the AI agent, who she's now building a rapport with, because the AI agent remembers her name. Hey, Rachna, how are you doing today? Did you remember to do this? And she picks up, last time you said you did yoga with Sheila. How is Sheila doing, right? Like, this personal connection starts forming. And then when the physician is meeting with my mom, the agent gives a compressed version with the necessary diamonds in the physician's lingo in 2 minutes. So now in the 15 minutes they have is a ton of time. The physician can take their time building that relationship and trust. So we talk about access, we talk about knowledge, engagement, and trust.
Well, that's very valuable. Now, you have such a diverse career and have worked in so many different industries, and there are many young healthcare leaders and emerging leaders here at this conference. What advice can you share with them reflecting on your diverse career as to how they can be successful and make the kind of impact that you are having?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm trying. We have an awesome team and friends like you. I appreciate it. Listen, never think you know it all. Today, I got some advice from you and Panthea. I hope I said her name right. Always listen and learn. We're always students, right? Always. Number one. Number two, try not to have a vertical line in your career. Try to spiral up. Because you have to learn to see things from different people's perspectives, and you will not unless you literally walk in their shoes. And thirdly, irrespective of who you are, you walk the floor on the front line, where in healthcare, where the patient gets online to make a booking. Make sure you do that once a month, at least once a month. Like, follow the journey of the patient and follow the journey of the employee, shoulder to shoulder with the employee. And don't hesitate to step in and help. If there is a a long wait time suddenly, and you have InGen as your platform, and InGen says, hey, there's a 23-minute wait line, and your threshold was 21 minutes in the ED. I'm just making this up. Go to the ED, talk to the patients, let them know what's going on, get them some water, shake hands, kiss babies, maybe not, depends on what's appropriate, right? But do that, engage, show your people you care by action, not by talking.
Well, those are great wisdom nuggets that you're sharing. And it reminds me of the analogy you made earlier. Don't spend your whole career in one slice of the bread, right? You need to have exposure
Spiral
to
up.
all parts of that and help break down those silos.
Totally.
Well, our final question, one of our favorites is, do you have a favorite quote you can share? And if so, why is it your favorite quote?
Yeah. It's very personal to me, and it guides us every day. And I'm translating, so forgive me, from a different language. And, there's an Almighty. We call him different names, or her different names. And it says, I am self, and I'm in each heart.
And what does that mean?
That means that I am the truth, I'm one, and we are all one. We are in every heart. So life, as we know it, is in every heart. And that is the most supreme. And I always say data without context is like body without a soul. And so the soul we talk about, right? You may call it different things, or life, is in every being. And so we have to treat each person like we treat ourselves, because I am self and I'm in every heart.
Yeah. What I really love about that is it's such a poetic way to express something I have believed as well, is that we all need to be connected. We may have achieved a status in our civilization where there are things that we can do independently, but we are a social species that is heavily dependent on one another. And so all of our success and our livelihood and our well-being depends on us cooperating and collaborating and taking care of one another. And that's a beautifully poetic way to express that.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much for your wisdom and sharing your experience and all that you're contributing, Vishal. It's been a real pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you for your friendship, brother.
Thank you. And thank you to our listeners as well for joining us. Be sure to join us again for another episode of Humanizing Healthcare. We'll be talking with another healthcare leader and innovator.
Thanks for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode of Humanizing Healthcare, please give it a rating, share it with others, and follow us at Fidelum Health on LinkedIn. And make sure you join us next time as we share more insights from another inspiring healthcare leader and innovator.